Ebu was a boy feared in the whole of Kambo community. He was only 16, yet he was taller, broader, and stronger than every other teenager in the entire settlement. While boys his age still looked lean and awkward, Ebu towered over them like a grown man. Instead of using his strength for anything good, he used it to intimidate and terrorize everyone around him. Whenever Ebu appeared on the dusty paths of the community, the other teenagers scattered in fear. Some ducked behind their mothers' cooking sheds. Others fled into the tall grass beyond the farms. And a few pretended not to notice him at all. Everyone knew that once Ebu's eyes locked onto you, he would find a way to make your day miserable. Sometimes, he grabbed their belongings with his powerful hands and tossed them aside or kept them for himself. Other times, he shoved them to the ground as if they weighed nothing. On bad days, he would stand over them, shouting cruel names, laughing loudly while they cried in humiliation. No one was spared. Not boys, not girls, not even the quiet ones who never spoke ill of anyone. The teenagers hated Ebu deeply, but none of them dared to confront him. They whispered about him in secret, complained behind closed doors, and dreamed of the day someone would finally put him in his place. Everyone knew that standing up to Ebu only made life worse. And Ebu showed no signs of stopping. In fact, the more afraid people became, the crueler he grew. His behavior didn't stop with the teenagers. Trouble followed him everywhere. Even at school, he became impossible to manage. He disrupted lessons, scared classmates, and ignored every rule. Eventually, the teachers gave up. They refused to let him into the classroom, saying they couldn't teach, while fear ruled the room. The adults of Kapando community talked endlessly about him. That boy will seriously hurt someone one day, some muttered. This is not normal behavior. Others agreed. Yet no one took action. Even Ebu's parents feared him. They heard all the complaints and knew the truth, but instead of correcting him, they stayed silent, afraid that his rage would one day turn against them. The teenagers became experts at avoiding Ebu. They watched corners carefully, listened for his heavy footsteps, and hid whenever they heard his voice. If they spotted him near the riverbank or along a narrow path, they ran immediately, hearts pounding like drums. Then one afternoon, Ebu was bullying a group of teenagers near the roadside, shoving them around for fun. They begged and cried, trying to escape, but Ebu blocked their path with his massive body, enjoying their fear. Just then, an elderly man approached. His name was Masa John, a man respected across the ridge for his wisdom and gentle heart. He had lived through countless seasons and watched generations rise and fall. He stopped the moment he saw what was happening. One hot afternoon, Masa John called Ebu, and as they sat under the big neem tree said calmly, "My son, why do you treat your peers this way? Don't you know that hurting others is wrong?" Instead of feeling ashamed, Ebu grew angry. He frowned and snapped, "Old man, this is none of your business. Do not ever talk to me like that now. Move out of my way." The teenagers gasped. No one spoke to Masa John like that. The old man blinked, surprised but composed. "Ebu," he said firmly, "the road you are walking leads to suffering. One day, the pain you give others will return to you. Remember my words." Ebu threw his head back and laughed. "Nothing will happen to me. I do what I want." He stormed off, leaving the old man watching sadly. What Ebu didn't know was that those words were not a threat. They were a warning. Ebu's arrogance grew unchecked. Because he was the strongest in the community at that time, he believed no one could stop him. He began taking whatever he wanted: food from market stalls, fruits from farms, tools left outside huts. He marched through the settlement boldly, grabbing things without greeting or asking, and no one dared challenge him. Then one scorching afternoon, everything was about to change, but little did Ebu know this. A group of teenagers had just finished working on the farmlands. Their baskets were full of vegetables and fruits earned through hard labor under the sun. They laughed tiredly as they walked until they saw Ebu standing ahead, blocking the narrow road. His arms were crossed, and a cruel smile spread across his face. Panic swept through the group. This is where you hit the subscribe button. As he ran desperately after them, they took a shortcut into a bushy pathway that they did not know where it would lead to. Because they were scared, they ran as fast as their tiny legs could carry them, for there was a bigger stomper coming at them with all his might. Deep in the bush, far from watchful eyes, was a new member of the community. He had bought that stretch because it once belonged to his father, and he was now settling in. And that was where the teenagers were headed with their fruit baskets when Ebu started chasing them. They made it into the compound of Old Soldier. Yes, and as the name implies, Old Soldier was a retired soldier who had returned back to the community. The teenagers made it successfully into Old Soldier's compound and rushed immediately to him as Ebu followed behind. As soon as Ebu entered the compound, he looked at Old Soldier with fierce anger in his eyes, and then said, "Hey you are standing in the way. I want to discipline those small fries behind you." Old Soldier looked at him and laughed so hard. He whistled, and out came two massive bulldogs. They went straight for Ebu, who froze at the sight of the dogs, and dropped down as the dogs came rushing. Ebu became so scared he could not move. Old Soldier called off the dogs, but Ebu was on the ground crying like a baby. The teenagers could not believe their eyes and started laughing heavily at Ebu. They thanked Old Soldier very much and left immediately to spread the news. My people, this is where you say he has met his meter. For the first time, Ebu was powerless. He began begging Old Soldier to let the dogs go so that he can go away, and even promised to change. But Old Soldier had heard of Ebu, the local champion, who was doing more harm than good with his body. What I have not told you yet is that Ebu reminded Old Soldier of his youthful days. He called off the dogs and sat with Ebu and told him that he was once like him. But all changed because he joined the army and today uses his physical advantage for good. From that day on, Ebu changed. He stopped bullying. He stopped stealing. He visited Old Soldier to listen to stories about the army and even wanted to become a soldier one day. So he started working out, for surely his tummy was too big for the army. He used his strength to help lifting heavy loads, assisting farmers, carrying water, repairing school benches. Slowly, trust returned. One good deed at a time, Ebu rebuilt what he had destroyed. The boy once feared by all became proof that even the strongest can change when forced to face the consequences of their actions. He was soon to be Major General Ebu. If this story piqued your interest, please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. See you next week. Same time, same place. Ciao.